I'm Zoe, welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, we are doing a wrap-up, but it's not just a monthly wrap-up, it's a two-month wrap-up. I have not done a wrap-up on this channel ever. Maybe I did one or two, I don't know. I'm not a wrap-up girly, but I thought that I would challenge myself to try and do it this year, and I thought once a month might be a lot for me, but if I do it every 2 months, like every other month, that might be able to work. Let's get started because I feel like my battery and my light battery is probably going to die very, very quickly. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This was my first time reading a Kennedy Ryan book. What a great first impression this book was. This is about Yasmin and Josiah. They are a divorced couple. They are parents and they have a shared trauma, and we're seeing the steps of them getting back to love. So this is a second chance romance. This made me think. And I wasn't expecting that going into this. I don't read a lot of books that are like romance of people who have kids and like, you know, like that level of maturity. I feel like majority of the time I'm reading books that are about people, even if they are in their 30s, they're still out dipping, doing dating and doing that stuff. But being able to read at this perspective was just very interesting. Definitely check it out. If you want to read a Kennedy Ryan book, I guess I would say start here because this is where I started, and now I want to go back and read everything. So this would be the selling point right here. Check it out. Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. This was actually my first read of the year, and this was like a continuation of The Nightmare Before Christmas, except it was in Sally's point of view. This was not good. I listened to the audiobook and I don't know what this story was really trying to tell. I kind of went into it hoping we would get to see like Sally and Jack being cute. This felt not like Sally. They gave her a whole backstory that kind of didn't fully make sense to me. Like, she has parents. 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. I feel like I talk about the Truly Devious series all the time on here. This is the 5th book in the series. I am riding with this until the very end. I have a full spoiler-filled reading vlog on this if you want to go check it out. I don't know how to talk about this without spoilers because then I would have to talk about previous books and things that went on there, and that would just take too long. But this one was not my favorite. I feel like there was just some characterization in here that just did not make sense, and I think even the setup of the story, it just did not feel like the right place to go to me as a reader. But it's still a good book. I still had fun. Me being me, I read Spare by Prince Harry, which is his memoir. I'm not gonna, let's look at this one. There is a reading vlog of this also that I posted. I will link it, or you can just find it. It should be only a few videos ago, but this is Prince Harry's memoir, him answering some of the burning questions and just kind of telling the truth of telling his truth. And it's not as like bombshell and like scandalous as I think people wanted to make it out to be. The feeling that I had when I finished this book was just sad. You know, I need to reread it because there's a lot of stuff, especially in the beginning, that, you know, dealing with him in the military and even him with Diana and things like that, that I kind of want to go back and hear again and kind of focus a little bit more. I listened to the audiobook for The Silent Patient. We're following like a therapist. He's working with patients, and there is a semi-famous patient who killed her fiance, her husband. I can't remember, but either way, she was silent. She wouldn't talk to anyone, and he kind of wants to get her to speak. He thinks he's gonna be the one who's able to do it. This story pissed me off so much. I was just like, why? I saw everyone talking about this, I think last year, and I was just not impressed with anything. It just, no. Just men. I finally got around to reading Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, which is the 3rd book in the Cruel Prince series. I don't know if there's like an official title for that series, but The Cruel Prince, the last book. That book had no business being that good. That's all I have to say. I was not prepared to love this book as much as I did. I could not stop listening to it. This convinced me that I need to go and buy all of the books. I have The Cruel Prince, but I do not have a sleeve for it. and I'm kind of tempted to just buy a box set of, I think they have box sets, I'm sure they do. I don't even care that I already have it. I'll get rid of that one and just take the box set, because I love the first book, didn't love the second one, but the third one was so good. I was just addicted to everything that was happening. And Holly Black Man, wow. I did read another volume from Spider-Man, of course, because I'm trying to get through the Spider-Man comics. I also read Little Leaders, and this was a book talking about different women in Black history. So it was a really informative story, and I found out about some people that I never knew about. So that was great. ABCs of Black History, which was another book that I think was a nice like kind of overview of different parts of history and things in Black history, and that was also really, really good. Are The Stories We Tell by Joanne Grimes, because Joanna Grimes, is that her name? Her and her husband have the home makeover show. I have one of her decor books, so I checked it out. She had no idea what this book was about, because she said it wasn't a memoir and it wasn't a self-help book, but that's literally what it was. I don't really understand. But if she's confused about what the definition of what her book is, then I'm also very confused. Like, how am I supposed to know if you don't even know clearly what you're writing? So it seems like it was more of a money grab, I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, get your coin, girl. 7 Days in June. Oh my god. I had the audiobook along with this, and I was absolutely in love with this story. Like, I annotated the fuck out of it. I did start this, was it at the beginning of last year, I think? I started it, I read a chapter, I wasn't feeling it, and I put it down for like literally the whole year. I came back to it this time, addicting. I could not put it down. Second chance. You know, they were together when they were younger, and they both are authors, and there's this line in here that shook me to my core, and it was like when they see each other again. Can I say this? I mean, it's a spoiler, but you know they're gonna see each other again. You know there's gonna be electricity. You know it's gonna happen. Like, you can feel it. But she's like, stop writing about me. And then he's like, you first. Like, they're literally both authors writing about each other, inserting them in their stories. And they've been doing it all this time. Or Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling. It took me a while to get this audiobook because Libby did not have it for my library system for the longest time. It was such a cute story about just these two kids who kept meeting each other, at first by coincidence, on holidays. And it was just like a cute underlying theme throughout the year, growing up and discovering yourself and kind of finding your own voice, and how you can like have friendship in love too. Coming Home by Kennedy Ryan. Like I said, I want to read everything by Kennedy Ryan. So I saw this on Audible and I was just like, you know what? Let's check it out. It's only gonna take me like an hour to finish this, may as well. And I thought this was a nice story. It was cute. It's homecoming at this HBCU, and they're both kind of very established in their careers. I think she's like a news anchor, reporter, and he is, I missed it, an artist maybe? I don't know. What does he do? I don't know. Either way, his daughter goes to the school and he's divorced from her mom. Her mom lives in like Paris or something. I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know, but it's just a really cute story about these two people who knew each other from like freshman orientation, and it just never worked out that they ever started anything, but they obviously still had feelings for each other, and it just kind of goes from there. And Goldie Vance, and it was really, really adorable. It's about this high schooler, and I think the art style is really, really cute. She solves mysteries and things escalate very quickly. Like, at first you're just getting like her at the job that she's at in this hotel, and she's just like trying to solve the crimes of like people who have like their belongings go missing and who takes it. But then it very much escalates very quickly, and she's all of a sudden in like car speed chases. And I was like, whoa. The last two books that I want to mention are part of something that I am doing this year that is a challenge for myself. I'm very proud of myself so far because I feel like I have tried to do this in the past and it never worked out for me. Reading a classic a month. One thing that I have noticed about me is that I do need to know what the classics are about. With both of these, I kind of just went off of what I've heard people say, or like, oh, I've heard it mentioned a lot and I kind of just wanted to try it out. I always did. I don't really love the element of surprise. I need to know a little bit more what they're talking about. So let's get into the January read first. I have Beloved by Toni Morrison. This was actually recommended to me by my mother. She bought this for me and gave it to me for Christmas. It was in like my stack of books and she told me to read it. And so I read it for January and it was actually off to a great start. I listened to the audiobook with it, which Toni also narrates that, which was a really great experience. I wish that I could have read it with like a book club or something, because as much as me from high school would be shocked to find out, it does help to be able to have like prompts and be able to talk with people who maybe have read the source material more times than you, being able to ask questions and get better answers for certain things. And I really want to reread this and also this one because I want to look at them in a different lens of actually knowing what the book is about, where I went into this completely not knowing what it was. I just knew that it was a Black classic and I should read it. That's what I mean when I say I can't do the same approach that I used with books like this, where I'm like, I don't want to know anything about it. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I need to know. I need to know what it's about so that I can better go into it with the right mindset. And yeah, so that's something that I want to redo. I want to read it again eventually, maybe next year, and actually be able to properly take in everything. I was annotating it for a while, but eventually I kind of just stopped and I just listened to the audiobook. The other book that I read that was a classic, and this is what I read for February, it was Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. The thing that I wish I knew more context for this one was that I had no idea what this book was about, period. I kept sitting there listening to the audiobook of this, wondering, when does Jane come into this? Because I'm thinking of Jane Eyre. I thought that Jane Eyre and Heathcliff were the couple in this book. And I'm so serious. And it's freaking hilarious because I wish I would have done a reading vlog for this, because if you could have seen my face, Jane Eyre is a whole nother book by a whole nother Bronte. You see how the wires were crossed here. So yes, I made mistakes, but going forth, I will not be making those mistakes. I talked about that for so long. I loved it. I love Hateful People, as we see with The Cruel Prince. I feel like I don't know, I gravitate towards that. I can absorb it well. I loved the story. I feel weird saying that I loved it, but I did enjoy it. Heathcliff and Catherine, it's just wow. And when I say they were just horrible. Would you believe we made it through? First wrap up of the year. I did it. Did I do it well? I don't know. I feel like if you just let me talk, I don't know. There is this one booktuber, I don't know what her name is. She read like War and Peace, and she also read the Count of Monte Cristo or something. I think so. I think that's what it's called. I have never heard of that book before in my life. I only know War and Peace because it was in the Charlie Brown little cartoon. Like her reading those classics. Well, I don't even know what those classics. Is that a classic? What is classified as a classic? Exactly. Reading those things really motivated me and wanting to do like classics a month. And like, well, she said that the Count of Monte Cristo is about revenge or something. And as someone who loves hateful people and people who are just doing bad things, I feel like I might. Let me stop talking. That's everything. Bye.
Only love into dreams, baby.